Greg's Musical Surprise. The Wiggles had been to the supermarket and were putting everything away. "The apples and pears go into the fruit bowl," said Anthony, taking one for himself. "I'll put the milk and cheese in the fridge," said Greg. "That ice cream should go straight into the freezer," added Jeff. Murray put groceries in the cupboard and the vegetables in the vegetable rack. "All done," he said. Greg opened the door and waved goodbye. "I have to go out in the big red car for a while. I'll see you later." "Where is he off to?" wondered Murray as he settled down with a book. "Oh well, I'm sure he knows what he is doing." "I might have a nap," yawned Jeff. "Then I'll be ready for the rehearsal this afternoon." "I hope Greg remembers," worried Anthony. "We have to learn some dances, and Greg's new song needs a lot of practice." Greg drove down the road. "The latest song of mine is quite tricky," he thought. "There are some high notes and some difficult lines." He stopped the car outside an old building. There was a sign outside with musical notes around the words, "Learn to sing like a nightingale." "I don't know about a nightingale," smiled Greg to himself as he entered the building, "but I do need some help with this song." Eventually, Greg found the room he was looking for. "Come on in, Greg," called the teacher. "I hear you have a new song." Greg showed her the music. The teacher nodded. "There are some tricky bits," she agreed. "We'll see what we can do." The teacher asked Greg to sing up and down the scales. "Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do," he sang. "Do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do." "That'll help warm up your voice," said the teacher. "Now let's look at the song." Back at the Wiggle house, it was time to get ready for the rehearsal. Murray put his guitar in its case. "I hope Greg comes back soon," he said. Anthony looked out the window. "The big red car is coming down the street. I knew Greg would be on time." Jeff had just woken up. "Is it time for the rehearsal?" he asked as he came out of the bedroom. "Where have you been, Greg?" asked Murray as they drove along the road. "I have been finding out about nightingales," answered Greg with a smile. Anthony, Jeff, and Murray looked at each other. Nightingales? Birds that sing beautifully? Whatever was Greg talking about? "I'm glad we're early," said Murray as they pulled up outside the studio. "The new song of yours will need a lot of rehearsal, Greg." Greg just smiled, and the four friends went into the rehearsal room. Murray played his guitar and Jeff practiced on the keyboard. Anthony performed the new dance steps they'd learned, but Greg just stood there looking over his music. "Aren't you going to practice the new song?" Anthony asked. "I'm ready," smiled Greg. Murray, Jeff, and Anthony played the introduction and Greg began to sing. Greg's voice soared through the studio. He sang perfectly. His voice hit the high notes and the song flowed smoothly. The Wiggles clapped and cheered. "Well done, Greg," applauded Murray. "You sing like a nightingale." Greg's singing teacher popped out from behind a screen and joined in the applause. I knew you could do it, she said. Take a bow.